Tired of searching for the best solo carry heroes every season? Well, this is the only video you'll need. I'm breaking down the top heroes to carry you from epic to mythic after the latest update. As we dive into the best picks for solo rank, expect to see some useful tricks to help you dominate the game. Let's get started. Julian is an excellent carry since he can start bursting heroes right from the early game without much farm. You can say he gets his ultimate by level 3 because his enhanced skills are pretty much his ultimate. His different combos might seem a bit overwhelming at first, but once you have played him a few times, you will see that it's a lot simpler than you might think. This hero can really carry a lot of your games if you really know what you are doing and can make quick in-game decisions about which enhanced skills are most suited for each situation. Next one is Ruby. Her incredible sustainability and many crowd control skills with very low cooldown makes her a very versatile pick in solo rank. You can play her as the offlaner, roamer, or even as the gold laner. She can pretty much 1v1 any marksman in the game, and in the late game her damage output ain't too shabby either. If you see that the opponents have many burst heroes she can easily eat them for breakfast, then I would highly recommend trying Ruby as the gold laner. You will be very surprised how amazing she is, even in this role. Coming up next is Harley. Is really great for snowballing the opponents, and even better in solo rank because players usually are less coordinated, which means more opportunities to catch their squishies off guard. He is one of the best at getting the kill and then getting out immediately. Usually it's better to play him as the jungler, but even as the mid laner he can do very well. If you see that the opponents have a dashless mid laner like Ive, Chana, Nana, and so on, then if you pick Harley, you can easily and constantly keep killing them and making their mid laner almost non-existent in teamfights. Most solo players really don't want to take the roamer role because they feel that they cannot do much if the teammates are inexperienced, but there are a couple of exceptions and Edith is one of them. You can go full defensive build and maybe just one offensive item such as Starlium Scythe. You will be able to sustain so much while at the same time you can dish out so much damage as well. That's the best part of playing Edith, because if your team needs a frontline, she can do that. But also if you want to do some of the carrying as well, she perfectly checks those two boxes. Just get that Thunderbelt as soon as possible and start getting those stacks. Next one is Moskav. He is still a very solid marksman choice. He can become a one-man army if you know how to farm properly. And in the late game, you can even choose to go for the split pushing strategy because he can clear the waves extremely fast and take down objectives just as fast. And if your team requires you to join the team fights, like when contesting for the neutral objectives, you can easily be there in an instant with his ultimate, and his passive allows his basic attacks to penetrate enemies, hitting targets behind the first one. This makes him excellent for dealing damage to multiple enemies in a straight line, which is especially useful in team fights and when farming minions efficiently. Next one is Nolan. Is a great jungler for solo carrying because of his ability to move around extremely quickly, insane burst damage, and can quickly get a kill and retreat immediately. But just like many assassins, you gotta be patient with your timing. If you dive headfirst into the teamfight, you will get bursted down instantly before you even have a chance to unleash the full combo. You also gotta learn how to spend his energy efficiently, because you don't want to be out of energy before the big clash. A little bit of downside with this hero is that he is purple buff dependent, so it's important to keep an eye on the buff timer and don't let the opponents be sneaky and steal it. Alice recently received a huge buff. Now her mana consumption is no longer an issue, which was something that made her struggle a lot before this adjustment. Now that you don't have to worry too much about her mana, and can start doing a lot more in the early game, her role is quite versatile. You can play her in almost any lane, even as the jungler, but since you want to be carrying in solo rank, probably the best choice would be either in the mid lane, gold lane, or jungler. Next one is Amon. Is a really underrated hero. You don't see him being picked that often anymore, but in order to really have a high success rate with him, you really gotta know how to time your entrance and not dive head first into the fight. His combo can pretty much one-shot most heroes, including tanky ones. Also, his mobility is pretty great as well when he has his camouflage on, which will allow you to roam around the map a lot quicker. Ganking is a really important aspect for the jungler, so his mobility is really important for this role. That's all for this video. I hope I helped you in some way. Please leave a like and subscribe for more.